Hello, Tony. Come on, and let's kick this one off.
I'm ready to kick.
Here we go. So, well, everybody, welcome to NiteLife Exchanges. This is a weekly interview show that we are doing to present people within our community and show what they're doing. And we have a great guest today. You can find these, by the way, on the website NiteLife Exchange. They'll be archived there, as well as on our NiteLife Exchange Facebook page. So this week we are going to be visiting with the incredible Karen Mason, and here she is at a recent appearance at 54 Below.
Noisy boys, long and lean, giggles of girls in the mezzanine, filtered through colored lights, red and orange and gold and amber and pink and yellow and green. Where are my colored lights? Leaving home years ago, what was I looking for? I don't know. I can't recall. Anyway, soon I'll have my days and nights of wonderful clearing, beautiful scenery.
Hey, Karen.
Hey there. How are y'all both doing today?
We're doing well, and you certainly did find your colored lights. You have been.
She brings the colored lights with her, let's be honest.
Does.
Oh, good answer.
You have you had done that show at 54 Below. You've been doing shows at Birdland. You've been doing shows all over, and you have been working very hard over the last year, and which we're very grateful. And you have something coming up which we want to mention to everybody. This is exciting. This has to do with this is being done up in the Catskills at a location that that has had 3 different venues, and they've put them all together now. But this seems to be like a Disney World for cabaret. You can go up to the Bradston, and there's a hotel and there's a restaurant that was the homestead that they brought in, and then there's the Eldred Preserve. And you're going to be doing a show there on Sunday, May 29th. So.
Yeah, with, Scott and Eddie, who started, they actually had the Nancy Lamott room at the Brad stand when it was in White Lake.
Yeah.
And that was, how many years ago? 15? I mean, wow. And I, went every summer. They would do their summer cabaret series and go, and Sundays they'd have in the little, it was a sweet room. It was the bar area with a beautiful piano, up in the corner, and the best audiences ever. Smart and fun and responsive. And they, it was so sad when they stopped doing it, because it was our, summer in the Catskills. Yeah. And so now to have this back, to have them running and the Brad stand back, and this Eldred Preserve is so gorgeous. It is so beautiful. This hotel is amazing. I hope we get to spend a night there, because it's really great.
It's not a location that I'm unfamiliar with, actually. Back in the 70s, I was a camp counselor at a place, the Pythian Camp up in Glen Spey, New York. And we took care of underprivileged children from New York City, would get 3 weeks up in the country. And when we would go out to dinner, we'd go to Eldred Preserve, and we used to fish for our trout dinner there. So they had a fishing pond. I don't know whether that's still something that's part of it. I have to check that out. But what an incredible thing to come back together again. And
Right.
it makes perfect sense to.
Yeah, I mean, when he said, "Would you like to come?" We're thinking about doing a series. When when can I be part of it? And when he said, "Would you open it?" I'm actually opening it and closing it, so I'll be doing my Christmas show up there.
Right.
And I'm honored. It's I was honored to play the Nancy Lamott Room, and now I'm honored to be the first, to bookend the series.
And a few other friends of ours, Gene McDonald, who was living right near, not far from, and is a member of that area up there, a community member in that area, that really was one of the people that really helped contribute by being part of that running of those shows there that went on for a good long time. And it was sad when it was no longer available, because anything that promotes what we do, which is the Great American Songbook and cabaret, is. But now it's back, and it's great that you're going to be up there. Also, the Callaway girls will be there. I believe I see dates for them.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's pretty incredible. And again, it's a beautiful trip to the Catskills.
It's a beautiful area. It seriously is so gorgeous up there.
Yeah, and it's coming back.
Yeah,
because I think one of the reasons is people not necessarily wanting to get on planes and travel that far can actually, as they did back in the past, go up to the Catskills and have a vacation. And this is perfect because you can have everything in this one spot, including Karen Mason. So pretty incredible.
Me and a good meal.
And a good meal.
Yes, and here's that beautiful promo with all the information that you need.
And so, Karen, you and I go back a bit.
A bit.
I again used to go to when I first went into the duplex on Grove Street back in the 1980s. A good Friday night would be, Karen Mason at 8. And then, it would roll into the next show, Nancy Lamott at 10. And then either at midnight or sometimes 2 a.m, you'd see Sharon McKnight. You could literally go spend the whole night at the duplex, thanks to Rob Hoskins and Irv Rabel.
Yeah, and they always had audiences. I mean, that's the amazing thing about back then is people went out all the time. And, Sharon would be sold out at 2:00 in the morning. And I'm home asleep, but Sharon would sell out.
It was a different time schedule that everybody worked with.
Yeah.
But then from there, you've gone on to, obviously you've had an amazing career and continue to work. And one of the things that happened in that time was you got to understudy Glenn Close in Sunset Boulevard, which was I'm sure a major break for you, although you didn't get on stage as often as you wanted to, because
I of course, when I auditioned for it originally, I thought, well, of course I'm being seen for Norma Desmond. Of course they're seeing me for the lead. But in reality, Glenn Close was, I think, it was like Patty and Glenn and all of those stars were they were only seeing people that they were considering for standbys, and that's okay. Once I got over myself, it was a great gig. It really was. My husband calls it I was a well-paid insurance policy.
And so we have Tony. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have a clip, but no, not at all. I just have to say, but it was something that actually my husband David Edwards said that is completely applicable here that I just love, is that the thing is that you were not you were the understudy, but for certain people, you're the only Norma Desmond that they will ever have emblazoned in their memory, and I am one of them.
Well,
so I saw you, and you are the one. You are Norma Desmond, and that was my introduction to you too. So it was very special.
And of course, everybody, all of us that were in the cabaret trenches, so to speak, still working in that end of the business, were thrilled, because any success for you was success for everybody.
Well, when Brian and I first started, Brian Lasser and I started, we met in Chicago and we moved to New York. And when we were working on Grove Street and all those other cabarets, it was Brian and myself. And we always said, because he was a great writer, he wanted to, write shows. And whatever we did, as you know, we went away from each other, we would always come back to each other, and it could only help what we were doing. You know, you'd
Absolutely.
learn new things, you'd get more people, you know who you are.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I've been, I like that, having a wide variety of things to keep me occupied.
So, Tony, let's have that clip. This is Sunset Boulevard with Karen Mason playing Norma Desmond.
Need words, we had faces. Yes, they took all the idols and smashed them. The Fairbanks, the Gilberts, the Valentinos. They trampled on what was divine. They threw away the gold of silence. When all they needed was this face of mine.
You don't blame me, huh? I'm just a writer.
With one look, I can break your heart. With one look, I play every part. I can make your sad heart sing. With one look, you'll know you need to know.
And
Great costumes, man.
great costumes. And we had Justin Ross Cohen on last week, and we were chatting with him, and he mentioned that he had helped, prep you for the, getting into that role.
He
And
was my
one-
director, as far as I was concerned.
And right, and one of the best stories he told was how they wanted to make sure that you were able to make all of those entrances and exits and deal with all of that weight, because the costumes were heavy.
Yeah.
And apparently you had the apartment that you were in had a long staircase down.
Yes, it was.
And they loaded you up with towels and whatever else they could drape on you, so that you would get used to being able to manage all of that. And that's
It was
that
a
kind
pretty
of work.
picture, Scott. It was a really pretty picture.
Like an Olympic athlete.
But of course, got you used to carrying heavy costumes, which
Right.
when you were in Wonderland, I think those may be the heaviest that you've ever had to
Oh.
wear.
Yeah, they were each like 25, 30 pounds. And yeah, listen, gold. They were absolute gold. I love Susan Hilferty. So I love her crazy genius mind, and all those costumes. I've been very lucky. I love, that's the great part about doing theater shows, is that you get to wear these crazy costumes,
And
it's
that was a
fun.
great show, by the way. I saw the show. You were
Wonderland?
in the parts.
You did?
Yeah, oh sure. Yeah,
No
I did.
kidding.
And I have to tell you, the kids that work for me, the younger generation,
Yeah.
they love that score. At Ellen
It's a great
Stardust,
score.
they're doing, and they're doing the Mad Hatter song a lot. They've
Yeah.
put that in there. So, some of the other shows that you've done, I mean, Mamma Mia,
Yeah.
and what you were in the original cast at Mamma.
I
Mamma
was.
Mia.
I was the original one of there were three dynamos. It was Judy Kay, Louise Pitre, and me. I was Tanya the slut, actually.
And
Yeah.
and of course, as that show was just opening, that's when the Twin Towers came down.
Right. Yeah. There was really I think they were thinking about whether we should even open, because we were in rehearsals when the Twin Towers came down, and there was a real debate about how the city's temperature was. Should we not? But when the mayor said, let's get Broadway open, and Broadway shows started to open, Mamma Mia did. And honestly, I think it was exactly, I never would have imagined this was true, but it was exactly what people needed, because they came into this and here was this, pink meringue with great music, and they could just leave their worries and the thoughts of what had happened outside the theater. And you get to that mega mix at the end, and people were up and jumping. The first performance we did, it was a rush of, it was like, this rush of energy at the stage. And Judy came, like, what the
Whoa.
heck, man? She said, I think this is the closest we're going to come to being rock stars, and having that kind of energy come at us. But it was
Absolutely.
thrilling to be part of it for that first year.
And it was the smart move to make.
Yeah,
and that's
it
what we do
absolutely was.
in New York. We forge ahead. We don't,
Right.
we change, we adapt, which is what
Particularly
we
Broadway
just.
shows. You maybe particularly Broadway shows. That's like the ultimate, like, oh yeah,
Right.
you're
Right.
not going to keep us down. We got shows to put on.
Yeah.
And enjoy, of course.
which
That,
we
and
do.
all artists, I think, have that sense of okay, now what do we do? Of course we do what we are trained to do, what we want to do, which is entertain. And it shifts, the how you entertain after the pandemic is a little different from how you entertained before, how what you talk about, who you are as a person. But then everybody else is different too. So it of course that's what we do, is just get out there and entertain.
And as we're ever evolving, we bring everybody with us.
Right.
We
Exactly.
make everybody realize what. And again, during the pandemic, you were one of the first to really get into doing the live streaming, and you were doing shows regularly every week.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for that, because that was such a major way, something happening that really made the difference of people having something to look forward to, something that inspired them, and the music and all of that brought people to a better place. It wasn't easy, but we made it easier.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny.
Sure.
For me, it was survival. I was bored to tears. My husband, Paul, never stopped working, because he gets up and goes into the studio, and he continued working through the entire pandemic. I'm bouncing off the walls, and all this work got canceled. And like, what do I do? And so basically I did it because I knew that self-tapes were going to be the future. And I better learn how to do it. I better learn how to put up that collapsible background
100%.
Absolutely.
and the ring light and everything. And, so thank God for Amazon. Suddenly all of these instruments started, you see them behind me. I have softbox lights and my ring light and a microphone. I did it because it brought me joy, very selfishly speaking. And I wanted contact, even though it was, contact with a hole in my computer. And it was, certainly distant, but it felt like, oh my God, at least I have some connection to people out there, out there in the dark.
So back before the pandemic, Tony and I and Michael Mackesy, we had started in August of 2019, a show that I had thought about and figured out, and it was Piano Bar Live, and we opened it at the Duplex down on Christopher Street, the new location, and you were in the first show with us.
You were really a pioneer with this, though. That was a way ahead of your time,
It
idea.
just seemed logical to me, and I'm glad that we did it in a certain way. Very glad that we did it, because I think that the fact that we did it made it, a lot of people realized that they could do it as well. And then once the pandemic hit you, that was really what you had to do.
Right.
And we all went to that. And Tony, thank you for all of the work that you've done on Piano Bar Live with me. And thank you for being here with us doing these NiteLife exchanges, interviews. And but we're going to
It's been a great ride. So thank you.
It's
Are you
fun.
kidding me? All these great people I get to hang out with on a weekly basis.
So, yeah, we're going to look at some video from from that first show, and we were so green we didn't even know which way to hold the camera, and we were using iPhone. So here's that that show, the little clip from that show that we had back in August 2019 at the Duplex with Karen Mason and Michael Mackesy.
Honey. Oh, sorry, there's people here. Say hi to people at home.
Hi, people at home.
Both of them. They're in their pajamas.
Hi. I'll be there very soon. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, because she's starting rehearsals tomorrow for what's the final Chasing Rainbows?
Chasing Rainbows.
That
Yeah.
Me too, this is it.
You do this very well. You can take a little slower. Oh, yeah, you want to get through this number really fast, don't you? What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why? It's almost like being in love. With a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music.
Back when I was a blonde.
Yes, when you were a blonde. And there's Michael Mackesy, who was our musical host of the shows that we did when we were in the live performance space before we went to virtual. And you and him had a long history together. And it had been, that show was the first time that the two of you had actually been on a stage, I think, in a while.
Yeah.
I think you had actually done another, you had been in a, I think it was a Guiding Light.
Yes.
And you had, and he played a blind piano player.
Oh, I was a teacher at the school.
Right. No lines. You got no lines and no singing. But, you know, so you guys go way back, and also back to those beginnings, the origins on Grove Street, when so many of us made a connection. And we all, it's an incredible thing how many of us are still friends, and how we all, our lives continue to weave together.
Yeah.
And
how we all support each other still. I think that's really incredible. You know, we don't forget those days and keep with that, the roots of that. I love that.
It was magical.
Yeah, it was
magical.
We were very lucky.
We were. And again, you know, Irv Rabel and Rob Hoskins, thank you. Both of them not with us now any longer, but boy, they really put a lot of things in motion that really have kept and helped build the business over all of these decades following. You did so many other things during the pandemic. I wanted to mention that you were in the movie, the made-for-TV movie Halston.
Yeah.
You played Mrs. Marsh.
I did. His first investor.
And
fabulously played.
Well, thank you.
Played, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I had to imagine what it would be like to have that kind of money.
And how did that feel for you?
It was great.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I thought it might be.
And a Texan, right? You had
Texan.
A lot of good acting, and that one thing that stands out to a lot of people from that performance is that really deep, hearty laugh that you gave at one point, which, you know, I'm guessing, I don't know whether they gave you that, was in the script, or, you know.
Honestly, I don't recall if it was in the script, but when I was going over it, I always like to add, because I'm a laugher. You know, I laugh at everything. My husband said I'm the best. You know, Paul always tells me I'm great in social occasions because I laugh at everything. And I do.
Yeah, they love having you in the audience. Oh,
yeah,
you're the best laugher.
But I thought I always like to add a laugh somewhere, you know, some inappropriate laugh. And whether it was in the script or not, this seemed, you know, it was just one of those moments where I thought she is making herself laugh. You know, she's the position she's in and what she's saying, and she just is enjoying herself and flirting with him. I mean, he was so cute. Ewan McGregor is so cute.
Now, did you get that? Did you get that role prior to the pandemic, or is that something that you auditioned? So it was all scheduled to happen.
Yeah, and actually, I shot mine before the pandemic. So mine was shot in February, before the whole thing started.
And then they had
so
to
I
pause.
was lucky. Yeah, the pause.
You had to pause, and then right.
Yeah, because then they
Big
started up
pause, the
again
global
with
pause. Right.
yeah, with all of it. But they started up pretty fast actually after the shutdown. But I
They were one of the
mercifully
first.
I did mine before.
And of course that voice, your voice, and you worked on that during the pandemic because you
I'm still
produced a
working on it.
CD. Well, we want to talk about your CD
Oh, okay.
and how people can hear that, that music and your voice. Available. That's Let the Music Play. Available on your. If people go to your website, we see it here right below.
Yeah.
Buy the
Yep.
CD. Buy the music.
Hi,
Spotify.
it's a great listen. I listened to in its entirety the day it came out, and I
Oh,
just felt like I
thank
got to
you.
know a whole new section because I knew you so much more from the theater and cabaret, and there was so much of this folk, which is just like, or at least what I consider to be, this folk music, and it just felt like a real response to the moment that we were living in. So it's
Thank
a
you.
great listen.
Yeah.
And of course, also there on the website are all the other CDs that you've put out
Yeah.
over the years.
We're going to keep
So,
cranking those things out.
that's right.
More,
Absolutely.
please.
And video on that website, when you land, if you go to that website, you'll see It's About Time, which is a video with Karen singing the song It's About Time, which is about the acceptance of the marriage equality. And it's very impactful.
Written by Shelley Markham and Paul Rolnick. And it was I was asked to sing at a wedding for two friends. And, they gave me the song list of what they'd like me to sing. And I said to Paul, write a song. You're always, you're a songwriter, write a song. So I didn't say it like that because he probably would have ignored me, but I begged. And he did. He had this hook in his head of it's about time. It's about life. It's about love. It's about time. What could better verbalize, being in favor of marriage equality?
Very well done. And something that we have to keep a focus on at
Absolutely.
all times.
We cannot go
Work
backwards.
continues.
Tony, we
it's up to
roll
us.
through these. Tony, it's almost time for us to go again. And
No.
we could have done this for a 2-hour interview.
Easy.
Well, have me back.
We definitely would want to have you back. As things are happening, you'll let us know.
Great.
Cabaret Fest in Provincetown, they're giving you a Lifetime Achievement Award this year.
Yes.
And you're also doing a master class, which anybody that can get to Provincetown, you know how I feel about that's where God stuck his finger. It's a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
And, and you
Must
can't have
go.
a better time. And then you get to do a master class with Karen Mason. Wow.
I haven't been in Provincetown since 1983.
It's been too long.
Oh, it's about time, you might say.
It's about
And
time.
It's
That's right.
time to come back for sure.
And you just got
Lucky them.
you just got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the MAC organization. So
I did.
What is with these people? You haven't even scratched the surface yet, Karen. We got to figure out how you get a few more Lifetime Achievement Awards along the way here.
Well, as you get older, they start going, okay, well, let's see. We'll give her a Lifetime Achievement.
Yeah. And I want to personally thank you also for the effort that you helped. I'm a member of Chelsea Community Church, and we have a carol candle lighting service every Christmas. And you were gracious enough to come on and read to the kids, all the kids of all ages, the night before Christmas. And I
had a great time, Scott. That was so much fun. Anytime, anything I can ever do. It was a beautiful church and a lovely organization and great group. Yeah. Anytime.
So I guess it's time for us to say goodbye.
No.
Oh, they're taking us away. They're taking us away. It's like you got to get out of here.
Show that Braxton pick one more time.
Absolutely. I'll give you the banner, but I'll give you the picture as well. There you go.
I love those pictures. That's Jean Reed.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Yeah, they're really great.
And next week, Tony, we have Brandy Massey coming on with us. So
who do you have?
Brandy Massey, who was in Wicked and in the Heights and a bunch of other shows along the way, and teaches at AMDA. And
Fantastic.
A particular favorite of Tony and I.
Yeah,
had her on before,
PBL,
so-
another PBL favorite. So yeah, so we're keeping the shine on. Absolutely.
Karen,
Thank you.
enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks
And-
so much. I always love spending time with you two handsome guys.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for starting off our Thursdays right.
You're
And
welcome.
see everybody next week.
See everybody next week.